Timeout, remember, is the amount of time that a connection waits after it sends a packet before, having not received an acknowledgement or negative acknowledgement, it tries sending that packet again. So clearly that should be round-trip time as a lower bound, or at least an estimate of the round-trip time. TCP is also going to factor in the variance that it's seen for round-trip times and take 4 times that variance added on to the round-trip time, and that will be how long it waits overall. The expected time plus a bit more, in other words. The round-trip time is initially measured from that first set of packets to set up the connection, but then that round-trip time can vary as the workload of the network changes. And so newer measurements of round-trip time are going to take priority over older measurements without erasing them completely. And the way this is done is called an exponentially weighted moving average. So a newish measurement, the latest measurement, is going to be given weight alpha, where alpha is a number between 0 and 1, and the previous estimate then is mostly preserved, or at least preserved by 1 minus alpha. A typical value of alpha is 1/8. This is not built into the standard. Implementations get to pick, but 1/8 is what a typical implementation will use. So this means that the most recent measurement is given weight 1/8, and older measurements each time are given 7/8 weight. So if you have some contribution to this weight that was 5 measurements ago, it's going to be given weight 7/8 to the 5th power, which is going to move towards 0 exponentially. So that's why it's called an exponentially weighted moving average. That's the round-trip time estimate part of the timeout calculation. The variance estimate is similarly weighted. So we take the difference between the round-trip time as measured minus our current estimate, weight it by some factor beta, and combine that with our existing, accumulated variance estimate, again weighted by 1 minus beta. And typical TCP implementations use 1/4 as the weight for the most recent variance measurement. So putting these two together, a TCP connection is able to make a good estimate of the timeout, how much time it should wait before concluding that a packet that wasn't acknowledged was never actually received.